Welcome everyone to episode 5 of Sports Talks with Coach Sywenky. I'm your coach, Kevin Sywenky, Lloydminster product, Lloydminster boy. Welcome to part 1 of my NFL preview, and in this episode we will be previewing the AFC East. So what I'm going to do, seeing this as this is part 1 of episode 5, I'm going to go run through every division. We're going to start with the AFC East, as I said. We're going to go through every team, what I think their record will be, what their high points, what their low points are, and where they're going to place in their division, if they're going to win in the division, if they are going to compete for a wild card spot, or even if they're going to make the playoffs. We're going to start there, and let's start previewing the AFC East. So the 4th place team in the AFC East will be the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins will be starting quarterback rookie Ryan Tannehill from Texas A&M. Took him around, I believe it was the 17th pick. He'll be the star of this offense, even though he doesn't have much of receiving core to go with it. His best receiver is Devon Best, which is a relative unknown in the NFL. I mean, I'm not even sure what he is. I mean, other than me playing Madden with the Dolphins, because that's the team that I picked to play with, I really don't know any of the Dolphins' offense. But this team does have quite the running back in Reggie Bush. Last year, Reggie Bush finished with his first 1,000-yard season coming out of college. It's kind of a surprise seeing as that was his first season with 1,000, and though he's been in the league for about 5 years, and he was expected to do much more. We're going to actually see what Reggie Bush can do this year. But yeah, as I said, the receiving core, Devon Best is their best receiver. A relative unknown. They did sign Chad Ochocinco-Johnson at the start of the season, but lately they've cut him. It's been featured on the NFL Hard Knocks on HBO. He's a great receiver, but he's getting to that old age, so it's kind of sad for Ochocinco to go because he's such a great prospect, but it's got to happen. And they also let Brandon Marshall go in a trade to Chicago this offseason, which is another thing that's going to downgrade their defense. Miami's defense is strong with former CFLer Cameron Wake leading that team. They are about a projected top 15 defense, which is pretty good for a Dolphins defense. It's good for them, but really with a defense that can probably win games, a defense can always win games. You got to have some offense put up some points, and this offense just will not do it for them. Miami, they will have about a 4-12 season and be at the bottom of the AFC East. And the 3rd place team in the AFC East, Buffalo Bills. Buffalo will be having Ryan Fitzpatrick back for another year after getting a big contract last year. Sucked a big one for the rest of the year. Now he needs to prove he's worth that money that they gave him, even though he probably won't. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he can be a good guy. He's just not in the right environment in Buffalo, and Buffalo, that's a bad decision for them to sign him long term. It'll prove out in the long run, but we'll see. It just doesn't look that way. Buffalo's a bad team, and they could be just getting worse. Their top players are their running backs, Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller, who a lot of people are predicting to be a handcuff back, even though Fred Jackson should be getting more than 60% of the carries this year, seeing as he actually did really, really well until he went down with his leg injury last year, and C.J. Spiller came in and provided pretty good offense for that Buffalo Bills team. They're going to be in a tough division again this year. The AFC East is very tough with the consistent Pats. The Jets, I hate to say it, but the Jets are a decent team. But if Fred doesn't get injured, he should bring a great season for his team. The top receivers is Stevie Johnson, who should put up 1,000-plus yard season, even with Fitzpatrick being his quarterback. It'll be a good season for Stevie Johnson once again. He has proven it so far in the preseason, and we're less than a week away. Actually, we're 3 days away from the NFL season to start off here, so expect big things from Stevie Johnson. Other than that, not even that many offseason moves were made by the Buffalo Bills. They had signed Vince Young at one point for a backup QB to Ryan Fitzpatrick, but have since released him, and Vince Young is now possibly looking at a career in the CFL, backing up Anthony Calvillo at Montreal. That's a different story for a different day. But because he was released, the reason he was released was because they traded for Tavares Jackson out of Seattle. which he was a great QB for Seattle last year, and I mean, he'll be a great backup, but he's not a starting quarterback. If they're looking for a starting quarterback, Tavares Jackson is not the guy to replace if Ryan Fitzpatrick does have another suck-a-big one season. So we're going to expect that out of it. Another example of a projected top 15 defense, but in tough with a tough schedule and a division. With the tough schedule that they have and the tough division that they're in, they'll probably finish about a 5-11 season or a 6-10 season more than likely. The Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen. And the second place team in the 2012 AFC East will be the New York Jets. The Jets, they are the media favorite team of the year. Starting quarterback will be Mark Sanchez, and he should be the quarterback all year. I know the big accusation was Tim Tebow, and everyone believes he'll be the starting quarterback by the end of the season. This should not happen. Listen to me, Rex Ryan, if you will ever watch this program. Do not let it happen. Mark Sanchez is a quality quarterback. He's not elite at any level, but he is way better than Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow may win you a couple games. He'll come in on the Wildcat for you for a couple reasons. He might, from what we've been all hearing, he might do punt return, which is stupid, but it's Tim Tebow. People love him. I mean, I'm a little bit of a Tim Tebow fan, even though he torched my Pittsburgh Steelers last year in the playoffs. Can't do anything about it. But the guy is pretty good. He proved himself in college. He's done a little bit in the NFL, but he doesn't need to do any more. Got it? New York is not his team. If he survives New York with keeping this religious thing that he's got, it'll be surprising to all. Their running back is Sean Green. He'll put up decent numbers, but nothing special. I mean, he might hit 1,000 yards on the ground, but he might get there, but it's not a great guaranteed kind of thing. He might be splitting carries. I mean, he split carries last year with LaDainian Tomlinson, who has since retired, but now we will have a true Sean Green #1 running back. Santonio Holmes is the top receiver, but as always, he's a cancer in that locker room. And in that locker room that's about to explode from all this media attention that they've got already, Mark Sanchez and this Tim Tebow thing, the Jets are just getting speculated on all corners. The media is all over them, and Santonio Holmes to top that all off. This is not going to be a pretty season for the Jets. The Jets do have a good defense led by that great corner, Darrelle Revis, who's got his Revis Island, and if it wasn't for the D, this team probably wouldn't be put in the contentions for the playoffs at all this season, unless Tim Tebow starts. Then they're not at all in this situation. Mark Sanchez should lead this team to about an 8-8 record if he stays at quarterback. If he doesn't, this team is looking more of a 6-10 and maybe even lower. Look for Mark Sanchez to lead this team to an 8-8 season and possibly a wild card spot if the AFC is tight again. And the AFC East winners, drum roll please. Team consistent, the New England Patriots. If you want to talk about a team that's consistent, this is the definition, the New England Pats. With or without their top QB, Tom Brady, this team is unstoppable. When Brady went down in week 1 a couple seasons back, Matt Castle came in, they still made the playoffs because they are that good. Belichick has built this team solid. They are a franchise team. This is a team that you want to build. If you're starting a team, this is the team you want to build toward, is the New England Patriots. As I said, Tom Brady is the quarterback. He is probably one of the best quarterbacks that we have ever seen in our era. Him and Manning, you know, those two, they're just back-to-back. Everyone says, oh, Manning's better. No, Brady's better. No, Manning's better. Brady's better. Those two are the elite quarterbacks of our generation. They don't have a great running game, and will probably have a 3-back system going into the season with Stephen Ridley, Danny Woodhead, everyone's favorite Danny Woodhead, and former Olympic runner Jeff Demps, who will probably return some kicks off as well. He was part of that relay team that got silver. Can't really say much more. I mean, he's a running guy. I mean, you can't go any better than a guy that has a professional career of running and has a silver medal to prove for it, too. It's good things for him going through. Good thing for the Pats to pick him up. He actually does have something that proved to him. He did play down in running back down at University of Florida when they won their national championship, when Tim Tebow was the quarterback down in Florida and won his Heisman trophies down there. The passing game is one of the best in the league, with wide receivers Wes Welker and their key acquisition of the season, Brandon Lloyd. Those two are going to be great receiver options for Tom Brady, as well as having the best tight end tandem in the league. And this showed it last year when they run to a Super Bowl, even though they lost to the the New York Giants last year in the Super Bowl final. This was a big part. Rob Gronkowski, the big Gronk, showing his party boy wherever he can. And Aaron Hernandez, who just picked up a huge contract just recently, and he's going to be able to prove himself at tight end once again. Their D is projected at top 10, but that's just because they are the Patriots. They're truly about a 20 to 25 defense if they can keep healthy. I mean, they do have Patrick Chung and all these other guys that have been proven that they can do it. Takia Spikes, guys like that. But they're not a top 10 defense. They're maybe in that 15, 20, 25 range. Somewhere in there, they're not a top 10 defense. They might put up some points for you if you're looking for fantasy level, but other than that, they're not a great team. They've let up a huge chunk of yardage last year and a huge chunks of points. The only reason Patriots won so many games, they won that thing because of their offense. Gronk, Brady, Welker, it's that easy for them. This team will easily win the division. They will probably go 13-3, picking up first place in the AFC, getting that first round bye. New England Patriots, AFC East winners. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of this video. Please like if you like this video. Leave a comment down below if you think this division is any different. If you think the Jets are going to win it, even with Tim Tebow. If you think Tim Tebow will start, please leave a comment down below. If you think of a different way, if you think these records that I'm giving are off, please give me what you think the records will be. If you don't think the Pats are going to get first in the AFC, please give me that suggestion as well. Please subscribe to Coach Sywenky, or Coach Swankmeister, I guess. I would love to change to Coach Sywenky. Even leave me a comment if you know how to do that. I'm not sure, so I'd love to find out if I did. That's the end of this video. Part 1 of my NFL preview. In Part 2, coming up sometime soon, we will preview the AFC North.